Yes, hope you are also.
Yep, very good to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. Now wait just another minute, then we'll get started. Emma did reply that she would be here, and Lauren is going to try to make it as well.
And how many of those two do we need to have a quorum?
We need one more of those two.
Okay, fingers crossed.
Are you voting on anything?
Yes. Our previous minutes.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
you could temporarily table those
Yeah.
and then bring it
They've
up.
just they're starting to build up. It's been tabled a few months in a row.
Well, Nathan, I was just saying that that you all could just table it, and then if Lauren or Emma can join us, then you can just circle back to them.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. All right, because it is 3 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I know everyone has busy schedules, so I appreciate you joining us via Zoom this time at 3 p.m. and not 3 a.m. as my original agenda says.
That would have been an interesting meeting.
I don't know if I would have joined. But thank you. We're doing a Zoom meeting today because the education department will be in Alexandria, Virginia during our November meeting. I'll mention that a little bit more in a few minutes. So I greatly appreciate everyone taking some time out to join by Zoom this afternoon. I would like to take just a moment for introductions because our educators are actually able to join us today. And so I wanted everyone to have a chance to meet them. But I tell you what, why don't we start with our committee members? Nathan, would you like to start, please?
Sure, Nathan Sanford, based out of Roanoke. I believe I'm chair of the committee and also long-serving board member.
Thank you. Kathy?
Hey, I'm Kathy Hinker. I live in Hayes, Virginia. So I have a ways to travel when I get over there for the meetings, and been working less than a year on the board of directors, so board of trustees, pardon me. So yep, I'm enjoying this.
Thank you.
She has a daughter in Greensboro, so
Very cool. And then, of course, Christy. Dr. Kuiper's joining us today.
everybody.
But we'll let them have a moment to introduce themselves.
I go first. I'm Jordan Grimm. I'm educator here at the Museum for the Education Department, and I've been here for coming up on about 4 years now with the department.
Hi, my name is Annabelle Seacreast. I'm the newest member of the education team here, coming in almost a year here in December, and happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank y'all for joining us today. I always give inputs, but Saturdays are, tricky. So thank y'all for taking time to join us as well. We're going to go ahead and let's see. I just got notification that Emma is also online.
Hi guys. Hello. Sorry, I was just right on the dot at 3. It's nice to see everyone. Thank you. I'm Emma Ito. I'm the director of education with Virginia Humanities. So we're located in Charlottesville, but do statewide work. And then I'm based here in Richmond, where I also teach at VCU. So it's good to be here with you guys.
Thank you so much. Awesome. We'll jump right into the agenda. And so our first order of business is just a little bit of housekeeping. With our previous meeting minutes, we had several that are up for review and approval. And I know these were sent out in advance, but we're looking at our most recent meeting from August, our minutes for approval, but also our May 17th meeting, as well as skip back to November 16th of 2024. So we actually have 3 meetings our minutes that are up for approval right now. I know they were sent out in advance. Was everyone able to review these? Or any questions regarding any of our minutes?
No, Christy, I reviewed them. I didn't catch anything that needed correcting. That doesn't mean there's not anything in there. I do have sort of a procedural question that I probably at this point should know the answer to, but can we review and approve these in bulk, or we need to do an action for each of the three?
Jennifer and I were just discussing that a few minutes ago, and I think we came to the conclusion that we can do a bulk vote as long as we give everyone the opportunity for review and discussion. And then as long as the motion reflects each of those, the dates of those meetings.
Okay, well, does anyone else, Kathy or Emma, either of you have any thoughts or corrections about any of this different sets of minutes?
No, I'm good.
Yep, nothing from me.
Well, then I will just go ahead and move that we approve the November 2024, the May 2025, and the August 2025 minutes of the Education Committee of the Board of Trustees. And I just need a second.
A second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Anything else? All in favor, please say aye, or maybe make a thumbs up in chat or whatever. Aye.
Aye.
Hey, we passed the minutes. That's good to get the backlog over with. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, guys.
Hello, thank you all for that bit of housekeeping updates. That way we can have them updated on our website for review. Great. So we have been quite busy with programming, and so we wanted to take some time to reflect on our quarterly numbers. I like to include these with all of our meetings, not only for our most recent quarter, but also in comparison to the previous 2 years. And so these were on the agenda. That way you can have these to review. But of course, July, August, we were wrapping up our summer camps and other summer programming. August, we do kind of take a lull in wrapping up from summer activities and then preparing for school year activities. So August, you can definitely see the reflection in those numbers. And then September, it's kind of, full force ahead with school programming. And so our numbers are on par, outreach a little bit higher than previous year at the museum, comparable to last year. And just some of the highlights that I wanted to cover for our quarter. Something that was very exciting was our at the museum with our Dino Festival, had great attendance. We worked with Dr. Pritchard to come up with an activity for guests that featured fossils that they were able to view under our student stereoscopes. This was a lot of fun. You can even see Melanie in the photo taking advantage of the activity. But it was a lot of fun working with Dr. Pritchard, collaborating with the paleo department in this activity and looking at how to make it kid friendly, looking at the things that we kind of keep in mind of making sure that the fossils can't walk away, that they were just able to adjust the scopes. We also had signage so that if people were not familiar with scopes, we could kind of share that information with them and help them. So that was a lot of fun collaborating with that activity. Our quarter, we also featured our annual visit from every 5th grade class from Danville City. And so that was around 400 students that we worked with in a span of 2 weeks. And so it was a lot of fun. We worked with each school visited a separate day to keep the chaos down a little bit. But they were able to take advantage of touring all of the exhibits, but also some programming as well. And we'll talk more about the programming aspect in a few minutes. But this was partially funded. Their visits were partially funded by one of our sponsors, Boxley Materials. And so that was a great shout out to them with that photo with the students in the egg. But they were able to take advantage of programming in the microscope lab, doing some STEM programming, building Lego cars and talking about force and motion, and doing some math, measuring distance, talking about speed. So that was a lot of fun. Something else that has started during this quarter reporting is our basic training for our Master Naturalist program has started up again. And just a little background on here, if you're not familiar with the Master Naturalist program, it's a statewide program of volunteers. It's a volunteer-based group. And the museum is one of 7 sponsoring agencies for this program. And we have been a sponsor since about 2005. We actually are a host for a local chapter. It is the Southwestern Piedmont chapter. We have about 40 members. I was appointed by the state coordinator as the chapter advisor. So to kind of serve as a liaison between the chapter and then the statewide program itself. Jordan actually serves as our basic training chair right now, and Annabelle is currently taking the basic training course. And so with the training, it's a pretty intensive 40 hours of class instruction, which we rely heavily with our scientific staff. You can see Marshall Boyd and Liberty Hightower in these images from our research team in providing the academic portion for the courses. We also partner with outside agencies, universities, to come in and present various topics from forestry, interpretation, and then with the training class complete, the chapter members are then able to volunteer in various avenues. So it could be stewardship, citizen science, and then education. And so we actually have quite a few of our chapter members that volunteer here at the museum. Last year, they actually volunteered over 460 service hours just towards museum projects, helping in the labs and helping with education programs. So it's a program that benefits the museum as well as our natural resources. We do a lot of stewardship projects as well. So that has kicked off. We are about halfway through. Graduation is in December, so exciting times. I also wanted to mention with our outreach programs, I had reported on Rosemary Wagner during our August meeting. She's our newest outreach educator that is based in Waynesboro. So she has been active with some programming in the Waynesboro, Charlottesville area this school year. She's also working with me to create some flyers so that she can promote programming in the area. So that's going very well. She just completed some programs for second graders at Berkeley Glen Elementary. So she's jumping right in. We're hoping to kind of advance those programs there and just get more programming in the Charlottesville and Waynesboro area. So she's doing very well with that. Also, some other updates for our quarter. So our greenhouses, this is an awesome addition to the museum, and I'm actually going to turn it over to Jordan for a few minutes so that she can provide an update on our greenhouses.
Absolutely. So recently, you all may know that we acquired three greenhouses through grant funding, the museum, and the greenhouses have been split between DARVA, Dan River Basin Association, which is kind of one of our community partners, the collections side of the museum, as well as the Department of Education and Public Programs. And so far, we have utilized the greenhouses with our summer camps, as well as with our homeschool science and engineering academy, with the most recent program being growing lettuce and kind of talking about greenhouse basics. So we were able to incorporate greenhouses, the importance of greenhouses, but also different things to do with botany, such as photosynthesis, plant life cycles, plant structures, and even the greenhouse effect when discussing these with all three of our age groups, which are 6 to 8, 9 to 11, and 12 and up. And then our plan for the future is actually to start in January. So that lettuce will grow through December, and then they will take that home with them. And then in January, we plan on switching over to doing some experiments. So maybe testing with the pH of soil or different types of soil, different types of plants as well. And we're hoping to collaborate with the Virginia Master Naturalist for that, for the greenhouses, but also with Raywood Landscaping, which is a local landscaping company kind of in Pennsylvania County, right over into Pennsylvania County, to come up with some engaging experiments to ensure that we're using the proper plants and the proper soil types to get a good experiment for the children.
Awesome, thank you.
Very cool.
It's very exciting. The kids are having a great time with it. We're trying to incorporate observations. You can see in one of the photos they're measuring their sprouts. So very hands-on.
It's also a great opportunity to teach the kids about resilience, because it gets about 120 degrees in there with the full sun. So it's fun to watch them struggle, a little bit,
Exactly.
make their way back to the classroom.
Life skills.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
But yeah,
It's
the summer,
important life
was fun and the greenhouse for sure.
Oh, but awesome. Thank you, Jordan, for providing that update. And of course, as always, feel free if you have any questions about anything that we're reporting on, or anything that you would like to share, please do not hesitate to jump in. Something else that we have been very excited about utilizing is the newly opened Gene S. Adams Education Pavilion. And so I'm going to ask Annabelle to report on this for us.
So the pavilion's been a great addition to our programming here. It's opened the door for lots of different programs, but kind of the go-to program that we've been doing out there is a program I'm calling Early Birds. And it kind of walks the students through the evolutionary timeline between theropod dinosaurs, telling them about the Archaeopteryx, which became the missing link between dinosaurs and the modern birds, and then modern birds that we have today. And they do this through a series of puzzles of their skeletons of those three that I just mentioned. They don't know which one they're reconstructing. And this was originally made for a homeschool session or homeschool session for paleontology, but I adapted it for public programming with different school groups that we have come into the museum. After doing it a couple times, I think it can easily be adapted to outreach programs as well. And depending on the size of the group and the amount of time that we have with them, either they all work through all three skeletons in their small groups, or each group works on a different skeleton, and then we regroup. I have the completed example to show them, and they're always surprised at how complicated it can be to correctly assemble these things, and kind of put some emphasis on the paleo team here at the museum, which they're excited about that. And then once they figure out which one they were reconstructing, we look at the characteristics of all of them and figure out how the evolutionary timeline changed between the three animals. And then I like to relate it to the Pelagornis by showing them the arm and wing bones from models of a raven, a golden eagle, and then of a human, showing emphasis on the humerus bone and the homologous structures of those things. And then tell them to look above at our flying friend, the Pelagornis, and provide them with some background on that animal as well. And then I asked them to show me with their hands how big do they think the humerus is on that animal, and how that is one of the ways it was possible for this bird to fly over Virginia and other areas for such long periods of time. And then that right image there is the last part of the program, where I have them with the humerus that we have from the paleo department, show them the humerus of it, and look at the model, the life-size model that we have above, have them estimate the wingspan of that animal in centimeters, of course, and then actually have them create a class average of their own wingspans in centimeters by measuring their classmates. And then the final part of the program is to take however many based on that class average it takes to recreate the life-size wingspan of the Pelagornis. Fun fact, it takes about 4 or 5 fifth graders from Danville City Public Schools to recreate the wingspan of the Pelagornis. Now, when I did this for some younger kids from one of the local elementary schools here in Martinsville City, it took about 7 of them because they were second graders. So it was interesting to see the difference, and I think that's a really good visual for them, and to tie in the Pelagornis that we have now too. So
Cool. Very hands-on, and what a great use of the space.
Yes. And because a lot of the teachers with the Danville City Schools have now visited for a few years, they were very complimentary of the additional area and having something new to experience at the museum, having that new space to have the children participate in the programs, but just the fact that it's something new to check out, and they just said that every time they visit, it's something new to experience. So that was really great to hear that from these teachers that have been coming for several years. So
Absolutely.
yes. A few other things that have occurred during the quarter. The museum is great about offering professional development for staff. There's a certain amount of funding that can be requested per staff for professional development. And so Annabelle actually completed the National Association of Interpretation's Certificate of Interpretive Guiding just recently. And Annabelle, would you like to mention, put you on the spot again, I'm sorry.
Sure.
But would you like to mention a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was a great program. It was a 32-hour course, and I took it over the course of about a week and a half, met online on Zoom with people from all over the country, people up north, all the way in Alaska, from New York. It was really interesting to see what other professionals in this field or related areas are doing at their institutions and different agencies, but also get a good refresher on the basics and gain a couple of new skills like storytelling that I'd like to continue to implement into programs here at the museum. So very positive experience. I was really happy to get that certification.
Annabelle had to complete a program at the end of the course. And so, of course, I had to be a fly on the wall for that. I did a great job with that. So it's just we greatly appreciate the museum being able to provide these opportunities for all staff. And so I wanted to highlight that. That was just a great opportunity. I mentioned earlier that we were having to meet via Zoom because I will not be present for our November board meeting. We are actually going to be presenting at the VAST conference, and that is the Virginia Association of Science Teachers. We will be in Alexandria from November 13th through the 15th. attending the annual conference. So really looking forward to collaborating with other educators in the area, attending sessions, presentations. But then we're presenting a session that's called The Power of Real, utilizing museum specimens to deliver powerful programming. So we're going to be focusing on having the wonderful opportunity to utilize the museum's collections, real replicas, 3D print material, with our programming and the impact that it can have on students and audiences. So we're really looking forward to that. Also, something that has been happening in the exhibit galleries. Of course, there's constant updates going on, but we wanted to feature a very prominent change in one of our areas. In the Uncovering Virginia exhibit of Carmel Church Quarry section, there's been some vast changes happening. And so the large TV monitor, I guess we could call it that, kind of died on us. And, just over time, AV equipment tends to, meet its demise. So some upgrades were needed. And so the large screen that was normally over the top of the bone bed area has been taken away. There's a nice large monitor now that has a scrolling video. And you can see several of the screen grabs in the images right here, showing field work, but also showing the Eobalanoptera skeleton that is in the Hall of Ancient Life as well. But this has been some really nice upgrades. Ryan Barber, Zach Ryder, and Joel Clifton worked on making this happen. So it's really great to see these changes and have the guests notice. The school groups, they notice as things change. So especially, like I mentioned earlier, the Danville group, they'll mention, it's like, hey, I didn't see this the last time I was here. And so being able to have these changes and upgrades to the exhibit areas has been really great. Anything I was going to say?
I would just like to say that we're doing the upgrade because we had a technical challenge, but it was also time to take in lessons learned. So, for instance, in the original galleries, it was meant that the visitors were supposed to connect the Carmel Church gallery that you're looking at with the Eobalanoptera skeleton hanging in the Hall of Ancient Life with the paleontology lab windows. That was a huge lift for a visitor, especially if they're the first time here. It's not intuitive. So with the selection of images used, plus the identification guide with the bone bed, that will that's almost like kind of taking their hand and guiding them through the exhibit. Yeah. So it's a great example of lessons learned from past strategies.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Still hands-on, interactive puzzle element, but like Dr. Kuiper mentioned, you have your identification guide right here for what's in the bone bed. So great addition. I think they did an excellent job on that.
Yeah,
looks great. Any questions about anything that we've covered or?
No, I'd just like to say, I mean, I always look at the numbers, and the trends are very healthy, which I love to see. And I know there has been some previous discussion about the onboarding with Annabelle, and it's great that both Annabelle's there and Jordan. Hi, it's good to see you again. I'm glad that they're there. It looks like everybody's sort of like gotten back up to the level that we're used to. So I'm glad to see it.
Great, thank you. Yes, we always say it's something different every day. It definitely is. And I think that goes across departments here at the museum as well. But it's a lot of fun. I did want to update the group. I always like to try to update everyone on any grants, any funding that we're seeking. We were fortunate enough to receive several grants that the funds go towards scholarships. I had updated everyone at the August meeting about those. We're still waiting to hear on one. So on the agenda, you might have noticed that the Monogram Foods Loves Kids Foundation. So there's a grant proposal that has been submitted, $10,000, that would go towards scholarships as well as our science festivals, programming within the science festivals. So we're hoping to hear from that soon. And then, of course, already talking with Ryan about future possibilities for scholarships. We do see a lot of the schools take advantage of the scholarships. Some have funding through PTOs or PTAs, but a lot of them, I'm working with several schools in the Roanoke County and Roanoke City area right now that are Title I that are really wanting to bring us into the schools for programming. They just do not have the funding. So the scholarships are crucial for them to be able to utilize the museum's programs.
And Christy, I apologize if you mentioned this already. This is maybe like a renewal. This is something that's been going on for a few years, isn't it?
Yes. So
Yeah.
we worked with Monogram Foods in the past for scholarships. So it would be a renewal.
Good. Excellent.
Yes. But awesome. Well, these are really our main highlights for the quarter. And I don't think I have any other awesome photos to share with y'all, but I just wanted to have some time if there's anything that you would like to talk about or questions, anything that we can elaborate on.
I don't have anything at this time, Christy, but there's plenty here for me to be able to pass along a few bullet points when the board meets in a few weeks. So thank you for putting all this together.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us and taking time to meet today. Greatly appreciate everyone adjusting schedules so that we could still have our meeting and report for the November full board meeting. Great.
Great to meet you guys.
That's right.
Thanks. Welcome
Guys.
aboard. And thanks everybody for your time today. Everybody have a good one.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Emma. Thanks, Kathy.
Thanks.
Yeah.